So it's the day before Thanksgiving, and I am grateful for Assimilate SCRATCH VR because this software allows me to stitch footage from the Canon R5C on my MacBook Pro, which was not possible with the M1 Max chip. Using Adobe Premiere, Mistika, Vinci Resolve just wasn't possible. With SCRATCH VR, I can stitch MP4 and CRM files out of the Canon camera. So let me show you how it's done. We import our clips. I'll import the MP4s first, selecting all of them. Open. We can modify the frame rate and aspect ratio of our timeline for the footage that we are bringing in. And we click to drop it in. I'm going to change the name of this timeline to be MP4 clips and go ahead and create a new timeline. We'll call this CRM clip. I'm only going to bring in one. Import that. Here. Now, the frame rate of this one is 59.97, but because when I created this timeline, it assumed the frame rate of the previous timeline where the clips are 29.97. Oh, I meant 59.94 with this. But anyways, when I imported it, it had the old frame rate. So I can drag it over here and now it assumes the frame rate of this clip, which is 59.94 frames per second. We also need to import the ST map. The ST map I have stored locally here. This ST map was generated by Hugh Ho, so thank you to Hugh for that. I'll make it available for download in the description on this video. So you apply that here, and actually let's bring it into staging. And now turn off staging and we can delete it. It's still there, it's just there when you click on staging. And so now we can go into the clip. We're going to go to color effects. The first thing you want to do is create a new layer. We'll call this stitch because we're going to be stitching on this layer. You go to plugins, and then in shaders, select UV map 3vis and apply on layer. It is possible to do this with the lens undistort, but I was not able to get that to work successfully. So then you go to inputs, UV map, and then over here you click on staging. That's where our ST map is, and you drag it over to UV map, and now our image has been stitched to be equirectangular, but it's upside down. So we go over to media and you flip it. There is also a procedure that you can follow where you can clone out the lenses here. The process for that is demonstrated in Alex Pierce's video, which I will link below, but we will forego reviewing that today since we are just focusing on stitching. So the effect has been applied to this first clip, but on the second clip, we still need to stitch it, and same with the third. So what we can do is go back to our first clip and go to color effects, and then we want to select primaries, copy. We then go back to construct, select the second clip, go into color effects, and then select paste, have all of these turned on, paste forward, yes, okay, yes, and now this clip has been stitched, and this clip has been stitched. We can perform the same operation on the CRM clip. Plugins. Oop, forgot to add the layer. Okay, always remember to add this layer. So stitch. That I forgot, so I could show you, because I forget that all the time. So now we've created the layer, plugins, UV map 3vis, apply on layer, inputs, UV map, staging, where is it? We forgot to bring the ST map over to this timeline. So we go back to construct, go to MP4 clips, turn on staging. Here it is. We can bring it over to CRM clips timeline and drop it in there. Staging was already enabled, so if we toggle off staging, you see the ST map is not visible. Now it is. So click into our CRM clip, color effects, and now under the staging tab, the ST map is visible. So we can drop it into inputs. Oh, didn't have stitch selected. So I'll select stitch. We're on inputs, select the UV map, and now try again. Drag it. We're stitched. Go to media, flip the shot. And I have a LUT for this, so we can apply the LUT. We can load it here. And now the LUT has been applied. It's also possible to apply the LUT to several clips at once. We don't need to do it because these MP4 clips, we baked in the color. But if we wanted to, you can go to Media Browser, and then from here you can adjust multiple parameters. So actually, let's go ahead and change the projection type of our clips. These are our 4 clips of footage. We're going to change the projection to equirectangular 180 and to left-right. I'm not sure if this step is still required or not. I had heard that it may not be, but we'll do it anyway so it has the proper metadata. And for grade, you can see that LUT that I applied to the CRM file is here. If I wanted to also apply it to these clips, I could load it from here and it would apply simultaneously to all 3. We're not going to do that. So, okay. Another step that you could take is you could generate individual nodes. Here's the node tab. You could generate individual nodes for the left and right eyes, and then adjust the offset for each eye so that the stereo effect would work better and be bespoke for each clip. But I am not going to go over that today. Instead, we will just proceed on to rendering. We have the MP4 clips timeline here. This node represents that whole timeline. I'm going to want to make a H.265. So I select that. And now with this H.265 node, we can change our output settings. I'll call this MP4 clips. And I'm going to set the file structure. S-name will make it so that the clips that are rendered out will have the same file name as the source clips. When I created the project for this session, a render folder was automatically set for the root of my project directory. And within that render folder, I want to add a subfolder called MP4, designating that these are the stitched files that were originally shot in the MP4 format. And when I render out the CRM clips, I would do the same thing, but I would make a folder that says CRM. Even though I'm rendering H.265 files into both, I personally just want to designate which rendered files were coming from what kind of source. For format settings, I'm going to choose H.265 MOV. I'll go best quality, keep it with fast start. For GOP size, I'll do 30 for these. For the CRM, I would select 60. I'll go to fixed quality and then 10-bit. Add to queue and then render queue. Here it is. Start. Yes. You can have it show an estimate of how much time remains, the number of frames, or the percentage of our render process. Hope this is helpful for you, and feel free to comment with any questions.